Today we're going to be pitching you our product called Algopouch, your pocket, your money. So the problem we're taking a look at today is the increase in distrust of our financial institutions and an increase in growing concerns regarding security. In fact, over 90% of millennials have expressed distrust in their financial institutions. So our solution, a product, Algopouch, a fast, secure, and decentralized personal banking solution. And to talk about the technology we're using, I'm going to hand it over to Jeffery.
Yeah, so for our application, we're using blockchain technology, which relies on cryptographic methods in order to secure your data. And several of the characteristics of blockchain is A, it's immutable, so you can't change it, and B, it's decentralized, and number 3, it's secure, so your data is yours. So the way our application works is step number 1, the point of service initiates a transaction. So basically, the vendor, the person who's trying to get money from another account initiates a transaction, and then next the receiver receives it, and then they have a choice to accept or deny this by signing it with their private key. And third of all, if the receiver signs the transaction, it's committed to the blockchain. And so next we have the demo of our app.
Right, so to save a bit of time, I already opened up an instance of our application. And so when you first open up the application, you're brought up to our login screen. So we have our login screen here. And so our login screen is just like any other login screen. It takes in a username and password, and it checks with our local database whether it's a matching pair. And if so, then it will log you in. So if I log in here, when I log in, it brings me to now my transactions. And so it will just have a list of our transactions that we've accumulated throughout or queries that we need to complete. And so you can see that it shows the hash of the person that that's initiating the transaction and the date that it's been processed. And so if we clicked on one of these transactions, it will bring us to a receipt.
Some next steps we could take regarding our application is that we could implement QR codes to initiate transactions faster, and also with phones having biometrics as the new standard, we could implement biometrics to sign off on transactions, and we can also implement peer-to-peer transactions to bypass the need of an internet connection.
So, in conclusion, the big benefit of moving towards a blockchain technology is we're decentralizing away from these large financial institutions into a system that's more fair for the buyers and sellers that aren't being swindled by the middleman. Also, our new system is significantly faster than other blockchain technologies that are currently being used, such as Ethereum and Bitcoin that many people know of. In fact, the average time for one of these transactions to go through is under 5 seconds. So that's well within reason of within a conversation to just be certain that a transaction is cleared. So yeah, thank you again. And if you have any questions, now would be a great time, and we'd be happy to answer them.
So how was your development experience on this? I saw you guys working all night long on this, huh?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it was a little difficult at first. But the SDK was there, and we were able to implement it into the app such that we would be able to we'd be able to pull data down. At the end of the day, we did have some difficulties with a particular subset of Java and the swing data, and we weren't able to get it to work 100% of the time. But overall, it was a pretty good experience, and I can see how if those small details were smoothed out, this could be a really powerful API that would work well.
That's cool. So that's an Android app that you have there running, and you wrote this in Java?
Yeah, so it was mostly Java and Kotlin.
That's great. And how did you find the documentation on this using the Java SDK?
Yeah, it was pretty clear about how we could get started and how we could get it into our app right off the bat. a nice thing about it is it's pretty much the same documentation in all 4 languages it's offered, so JavaScript, Go, Python as well. So sometimes if it wasn't clear in one language and we have more experience in Python, we could peek over and know that it was somewhat similar. So that was a really handy trick.
You guys really put a great effort into this, so you should feel really good about the work that you did here. Congratulations.